Wait, hold on. Wait, let me just make
If
sure.
you need a minute, go ahead.
Yeah.
I know you're waiting on food. Rachel's waiting on food, so.
No problem. Well, this is taking so long. Welcome back, everybody.
Yeah. Hey,
It's
we've
nice to meet
got some new people on the committee too.
Yeah, it's nice to meet everyone. I wish we had met in person by now, but good reason not to be. But I'm Michaela. It's nice to meet everyone.
And maybe after the review, the new folks can introduce themselves.
Yeah, please.
Hi, I'm Rebecca. Thanks for having me and Zoom in. Yeah, I'll just.
Hi, Rebecca.
Hello. I'll just kind of sit back for this one and see how it works.
Good call.
And then, hi, as I mentioned, I'm Michaela. It's nice to meet everyone.
Nice to meet you. All right, did we get an answer on who the observer is?
Oh, I haven't yet.
Okay.
I sent them a message, but they haven't responded.
All right. Okay. So do we have to take minutes, or because it's recorded, we're like, that's enough?
We can. It's only one item, so we can pretty easily handle it.
Okay. So it's 6:43, and the meeting is called to order. Welcome. My name is Rachel Freeman. I'm the committee chair for the Permits and Licenses Committee, and it's been many, many months since we've had a meeting. So we have the one applicant, Terrace something.
It's a restaurant and bakery.
Okay. All right. So why don't you start?
Hi, good evening, everybody. It's nice to see you.
We're getting an echo on your audio.
You have a real bad echo, Anthony.
Yeah, I don't know why. Let me do this. Let me get out of that. Okay, is this better?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. I had you on the computer screen and the phone, so that was the reason. So good evening, everybody. Anthony Caraballo, I'm the representative for this applicant. This is Cesar Rendon. He is the owner of this particular premises at 280 Fifth Avenue. This was formerly Blue Ribbon Brooklyn since 2000. Might be a good reference for you guys. So they recently closed down. Cesar took the spot over. He has several licenses. He has 2 active licenses in the downtown Brooklyn area, one on Montague Street, Grand Canyon Bistro, and then he has an establishment on Skimmerhorn. So he has 2 active licenses. He also had a prior license, Ola Bar, which closed down a few years ago. So he has about 30 years extensive experience in the industry. He started as a dishwasher. So he's taken over this premises. There's no outside seating outside of the provisional COVID seating. If he opens up in time, he would obviously take advantage of that. But outside of that seating, there's no outside seating planned. The hours of operation will be 8 a.m. to midnight, 7 days a week. And we'd be glad to address any questions you might have. We did get extensive signatures. He has over 100 petition signatures. So they went in the area. They were pretty well received. And again, he's a very experienced operator. He has several businesses that don't have any blemishes on them. He's a good operator.
Where's the Skirmerhorn one?
He's in the hotel. He's at 300 Skirmerhorn Street.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. I know that.
So he has that place also. And he has the place on Montague Street as well.
Yes, Glenn.
Sorry, I have to unmute him.
Regarding the outside seating, there was some mention in the application of applying for a sidewalk cafe, but I'm guessing that is referring to the possibility of the COVID outdoor seating.
Yeah, I believe so, correct. Yeah, that's the provisional seating. We don't know, obviously, all of us, we don't know where that's going in the future. Everything is up in the air with that.
Okay. Yeah, because it said that you were applying for it, but then there was no further details. So. That's my only question.
We have a lot of silence. Should I sing a song or something?
If anyone else has questions, if you know how to use the raise hand function, please do that. Otherwise, you can send me a message directly in the chat. We'll just give them a few minutes, Anthony.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. I don't, okay.
I'm just going to unmute everybody. That seems a little easier. Glenn, your hand's up again.
Yeah, because I'm not hearing anyone else, so I would make a motion to approve this application as submitted.
Second.
Second.
Okay, motion by Glenn, seconded by Leroy. Any discussion on this motion? Hearing none. All in favor? Wait, why did Glenn get muted again?
Because I have too quick a finger.
All right. Oh, Mike is joining us.
Hello, Mike.
Hello.
Yeah. Okay. So you can you're joining us right in time to, if you'd like to vote. We're voting to approve the license for Terrace. I'm sorry, it's Terrace Bakery.
Restaurant and Bakery Corp.
Restaurant and Bakery. The motion was made by Glenn, seconded by Leroy, as stated with no changes. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, the motion passes.
Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike.
And there's echoes, but yeah, so the motion passes. Congratulations.
Great. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Have a great evening and stay safe. Thank you.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead.
Thank you, Anthony.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Anything else on the agenda?
No.
Not formally, but with a couple of new members, I think we should let them introduce themselves, give a little background, and then maybe everybody can chime in on basically what this committee does. Give them a little bit of an idea of what we're doing here.
That's a swell idea.
Great.
Thanks, Joe Hardy.
So, who wants to go first of the new members?
Oh, I can go first.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Rebecca. I live in Park Slope. I lived in Brooklyn for 5-ish years. I went to Barnard before that, so I've been in the city for almost a decade. I currently work as a team manager at a real estate company. So that's kind of my entry into this, but I'm hoping to do something that serves more of the community and those who are our clientele. So that's kind of the main reason to be here. And yeah, back when things were open, went to comedy venues a lot, and especially in our district, like Union Hall and Littlefield and Bell House and all of that. And I'm a big food person, so I dine out a lot. And that's all, I think.
Do you know who appointed you to the board, Rebecca?
Eric Adams did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you attended any board meetings before, any committee meetings?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
I attended the general meeting last week, and I also attended the landmarks meeting with the
So none of the live meetings pre-COVID, huh?
No, yeah, one of my really good friends.
Just these
Yeah.
facsimiles of meetings.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, they're much
Yeah.
more convenient, I have to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of my good friends is on the committee, and she encouraged me to apply. So I got in right before this all started.
Well, welcome.
Hi, I'm Michaela. I live in Park Slope. We've lived here for about 2.5 years now. Used to live in the East Village, and I was an active member of my community board there. And then since I moved here, kind of wanted to get to know the community a little bit better, and then was appointed by Eric Adams in the spring. So I've been attending all the meetings, did a few of the breakouts, the landmarks and stuff, but ultimately really wanted to be a part of this committee, and I'm glad to be one. In my day job, I work at a political consulting firm. I'm also on the board of Eleanor's Legacy, which helps elect progressive female candidates in New York State. And I look forward to meeting all of you and working with you and learning from you. So thank you for kind of taking the time to introduce us tonight.
Michaela, why this committee in particular?
My boyfriend is in restaurants and things like that. So I was interested in kind of knowing what the new restaurants were and things like that. I think they're an important part of the community because you spend a lot of time there. And they reflect, I think, a lot of the flavor of who lives there. So I wanted to be part of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
What do you think? Should we introduce ourselves?
Yeah, that would be helpful. I'd love to know how long people have been on this committee as well. And if you have any tips, I think that would be helpful if there's like questions you tend to ask a lot or research and stuff.
Sure. So my name's Rachel. I've been the chair. I don't know how long. 2 years?
A couple of years, yeah.
Yeah, 2 years. I think 2 years. I've been the chair for 2 years. I've been on the community board for 2 years. I was a public member for a number of years before that. I am an administrative law judge for unemployment in my day job. So my day job sometimes overlaps with this in weird ways. And I also was interested in just the places that were opening in the area. And I also live in Park Slope, and it fascinated me to see the places that were coming in and places that were closing and things like that. And I've learned a lot about the State Liquor Authority and the different rules and what we can focus on and what we can't focus on with applications. And it's, I mean, we're very narrow with what we're allowed to ask questions about with regard to people's business models. And sometimes that can get a little tricky depending on business's history. But we're very specific with what our focus is, and we kind of have to keep to that. So, and I think it'll be interesting going into this new world of COVID and what just even like hearing what the sidewalk cafe temporary idea, what that's going to look like, because we haven't had that. That's new, and I don't really know a lot of the details on that.
And we haven't been given any jurisdiction over it.
Right.
No, and I don't think we're going to, but
Right.
but it is.
We should still know.
No, we're not going to, but it is. It's still. It's part of their. It's not going to be something that we can ask questions about, but it's something that we're going to. We just have to be aware of.
Pre-COVID, was this committee in charge of granting outdoor permits?
The sidewalk cafe. What?
Like if you wanted to have outdoor seating?
No,
No.
that's entirely handled by Department of Transportation. I think we have someone here who can say something about that if he wants, but he doesn't have to.
Leroy.
Well, my name is Leroy and I work for DOT. So no, actually, the only entity that had any jurisdiction over outdoor restaurants as well as open streets, outdoor streets, is DOT. We just started the outdoor learning streets for schools. It started with DOT, but we pushed it onto DOE. So although we created the rules for the outdoor learning, DOE is responsible for
You
it.
skipped out on the work.
Yes. So if you have a problem with it, you got to go to DOE for outdoor learning.
Very clever.
So just a very brief overview of it. Everything has been extended indefinitely. Okay. The only thing that's not extended indefinitely is outdoor learning, which ends November 30th. It's supposed to end November 30th. But the open streets and the open restaurants, that's extended indefinitely. Actually, the city council passed a bill that made it official now. The question becomes, how does that become official? No one has the answer because no one has figured that out yet. The mayor said, make it happen. We made it happen. They voted on it. They voted on the concept, but not on the details. So it's probably going to go to a number of agencies. You have to have Department of Transportation, Consumer Affairs, the Fire Department, just Department of Health. They all have to play a role in how we're going to allow restaurants to utilize the sidewalk and street indefinitely. So until that happens, there's no answers to your questions other than it's indefinite at this point.
And Leroy, you might as well introduce yourself. Tell us where you've been, how you got here.
All right. Well, Leroy Branch, I'm a baby of CB6. I've lived in every district of CB6 except for Park Slope.
Oh,
Only location I have not lived in. I currently live in Red Hook. I am a teenager of CB6. I started working in CB6 when I was 15 years old. And then I left and came back, and I worked there for almost 15 years as the assistant district manager. And then about 5 years ago, I went over to DOT. So I've been working for the Brooklyn Borough Commissioner's Office for the last 5 years. And, you know, in terms of the Permits and Licenses Committee, I always was very intrigued by it. And I really got involved with Glenn, actually. Glenn is the one who really got me involved in the Permits and License Committee as the assistant district manager, because I remember when the bar came to your block and the backyard usage.
Oh, don't remind me.
Yes, and so, you know, there are different things, and I know Ty can attest to this. You're involved in all the committees, but I took an interest in permits and license because of Glenn and his wife, because of the backyard usage. So from that we created, remember we used to have that meeting every year in which we used to get all the agencies together for the community to ask questions, as well as restaurant and bar owners. So that's why I'm here. I love it. I love doing this. The State Liquor Authority is great to have, but when it comes to city ordinances, they don't really enforce them. They only enforce their rules over underage drinking, you know, and that's about it, really, because, you know, violence, fights, or anything of that nature is handled by the NYPD. So really the only thing that the State Liquor Authority, I mean, they can enforce other things, but the only thing in my experience that they really enforce is underage drinking. You know, that's really it. I think over the last, Glenn, maybe 5 years, they have really started to listen to community boards at the beginning when it comes to permits. I'm not sure, you know, when we have conditions, they add that to the license, whereas before it wouldn't get added to the license, but now it does. Ty, am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, they've been doing that for a few years now. As long as we catch it early before they start operating, then we can really stipulate to almost anything.
Right. So that's it. That's who I am.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet all of you. Well, Rebecca and Michaela. Is it
Hey,
Michaela
Rachel,
or Michelle?
Rachel, pick somebody else.
Michaela, you got it right.
Michaela, okay.
Not many people do.
We'll go Reg.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Reginald Ferguson. I've been a member of this committee for, I believe, a year now. I was advised by the district manager to choose us as a committee. I also like to drink, so that's helpful. But I have had a great involvement with the committee.
Here's to you, Reg.
Oh, way to go, Glenn. So I've enjoyed serving under Rachel for the past year. I look forward to seeing what happens this year. Obviously, you know, it's understood that with COVID, you know, everything is altered and everything has changed. To the advice of the newcomers, as a relative newcomer myself, keep your ear to the ground, watch the elders. You'll learn something, and welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Pauline, are you there?
I just unmuted her.
She's still listed as muted on mine.
Hi, Pauline.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep. we
Yes.
can
Yes, Ms.
hear you.
Blake.
Yes.
Oh, you don't want to hear my history. I'm one of those old timers on every committee of this community board. Former chair of this committee, former chair of landmarks, land use, former chair of safety committee. So I've done all, and I'm on there because I'm an activist and I like to fight for the rights of the little guys in the community.
Here, here.
Nice to meet you.
Eladia?
Yes.
Just saw your face.
All right. Hi. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
You hear
Good
me?
evening.
Okay, good. I
Yes.
hear well on my phone. I don't know. It's very, the reception not that good. But I'm Eladia Causil Rodriguez, and I'm being part of the community board 6 since Martin Markowitz was the board president. That's a long time. But I've been almost in all the committees, and then I stick with the two, the license, food license, and the transportation. Been part of the Park Slope community for a long time. I lived for the last 40 years in Park Slope, and I have schools almost 3 boroughs. I have schools on Park Slope. I have it on Greenpoint. I have in Carbon Hill, and I have over there in Prospect High. And that's how I in touch with the community, because I deal with parents, children, and school. Now when Leroy was talking about the Department of Health, that's the one that I deal with every single day. And you're right, that's the one in charge of everything about the food, about children's, and now the COVID, and the new normal that we are dealing right now, which is goes to me. You know, I'm in school, I have to deal with a lot, the changes of how children come into the school, how parents drop all the kids, you know, one party at a time. They had to have it times. And it's a lot. It's like food. It's like restaurant, the same thing with children. But that's what I've been doing all these years, participating in the community. I'm part of the, I'm sitting in the board of the Chamber of Commerce. I participate with them, especially now in the COVID, that we go to every business that are being closed. And there's a lot of business that closed. I was one of them. I got shut down since March, and then I opened up only for the children or the people like doctors or nurses and all that team for 2 months. The rest of the time, I just open in September. Hopefully everything goes well. And we don't have to be closed again because the spike of the virus, local New York is doing very well due to the governor that was really took on, and we all follow wear the mask. Everybody wear mask, people. And you actually keep the distance of 6 feet that we had to do that in the school. Yeah, that's what I do. Anything for the community, everything for children, some parents, and keep us going. And this pandemic really hit it hard, every single small business. And we are there to support with the Chamber of Commerce, to support any business that needs help. Could contact, Randy Pierce, and he will be there for you guys. And I will be there too. And yeah, that's what I'm just glad to see everybody. That we never, I think for 6 months, we haven't seen each other, but we see now in the Zoom. That's what I did. I had to do Zoom classes for the school for a while. And now we see each other and everybody is okay. Everybody's good. I'm still at home, but I had to visit my school once in a while. Because, we are in that kind of, not getting sick or everything, but I wish we soon we get with the vaccine and the world will come back to the normal, hopefully. Yeah. All right. For tonight.
And Mike.
Yay, the only guy with a liquor license on the committee.
The only guy with a liquor license on the committee.
Yeah, that makes him unique. It's great.
My name is Mike Vacheresse, and I've been on the board, I think, 3 years, or the committee for about 3 years. And I own Travel Bar on Court Street. And so I went before the board 6 years ago to obtain my liquor license, long before I ever thought of joining the committee. But I live in Carroll Gardens. I run a business in Carroll Gardens. I'm raising my family here. It's important for me to bring my children around and show them community activism. I make them go to every other meeting. And even though they're sitting there on their iPads, at least they're watching me, be a part of the community, which I like. And I find my role in the community meetings is to try to help the new businesses, try to make sure they're covering all of the things they need to cover so that they have a longer longevity. If you come in without knowing what pitfalls you're going to hit, I want to try to stop those and try to help the community, obviously, but also help the new businesses and make sure they're set up to do it right. So that's me.
It's very helpful to have your perspective.
Absolutely. Understatement.
Thank you. And welcome, new members.
Thank you.
And that leaves Glenn.
Does it?
Yeah.
Well, here I am. So Glenn Kelly, I am Brooklyn born, 43-year resident of Carroll Gardens, and have served on Community Board 6 for 15 years. I agitated for and have served on this committee, Permits and Licenses, since it began. I'm going to guess 8-10 years now. I also serve, as Leroy mentioned, because of my experience with a bar opening and using the backyard, which they should not have been allowed to. And then I shot myself in the foot by helping to get Carroll Gardens rezoned, which then gave them the necessary leeway to use the backyard. So I suffer still with that, but regardless, I'm trying to bring my concern about noise and business use of residential backyards and its effect on the community. I also serve on the Landmark Land Use Committee, and I chair the Parks and Recreation Committee. I've suggested on several occasions that the community board provide some sort of mentoring service, that the old timers be available to help the newcomers. So if that's of interest to our new members, welcome Rebecca and Michaela. If that's of interest, I suggest that you either ask any permits and licenses questions, maybe through the email server to our committee. And any or all of us can weigh in, try to answer those questions, reach out individually to have a fuller discussion. You could also go to the board office, Mike, our chairperson, Peter, to ask questions of other committees if you like. So there, that's all I have to say.
I have a question. Is there an email server? Or a listserv? I don't know. I don't think. I've been getting it from Mike, but.
Yeah, so there is a listserv for each committee,
Okay.
which allows us to sort of discuss within each committee issues or make suggestions for agenda items.
Okay.
Perfect.
Hey, Mike, are you still here?
Yeah.
Oh, when I heard Mike, I just assumed it was Mike Rasiopo.
Oh,
Never
yeah.
mind. Yeah, so, but Ty, are we still on top of our committee listservs, our board listserv?
Yeah, they should all be, if they're not completely up to date, they're in the work.
Okay.
I think this one is. I can share that. I think it also exposes, when I send out an email to the whole committee, like the initial invite for this meeting, that goes to the listserv. So you might be able to see it there, but if not, I'm happy to send out an email to the whole committee with the actual email address that it goes to.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be super helpful. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Ty, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
How long are liquor licenses taking right now?
That's actually difficult for me to answer because we really have not gotten many.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we haven't had a meeting. This is the first
Right.
new one. This is the first new one we've had since February that has gone, from the beginning all the way to the end. There have been a few close calls over the course of the summer where we got 30-day notices and I got in contact, and then either they dropped off entirely or they, it was too risky a venture. Yeah, so that's really difficult to tell. I would imagine the SLA is trying to help out and make them as quick as possible, but I think the greater issue for your question is it doesn't seem like many people are applying.
Okay.
I do have something else to add, which might be helpful for the new members to get their bearings. This application was very simple, not a problem, straight up restaurant, reasonable hours, no outdoor space. We, I guess, mostly see these type of applications. There's no question about what type of business it is. Doesn't appear likely to have any kind of negative impacts on the community. And they're easy to vote on. Sometimes there's some confusion about hours, perhaps mistakes on the application. Mike has suggested we try to advise them to increase chance of success. And it's pretty straightforward. Sometimes we'll have a half a dozen of these in a committee meeting, but of course, times are hard. Where we really, I think, make a difference for the community is looking at I shouldn't say questionable, but we have questions for applicants who bring us businesses that don't add up, you know, that they want to have 400 seats and they're going to stay open till 4 o'clock in the morning, and they're claiming to be a restaurant, but they're going to have live music. And so we want to know what we're dealing with. So it's the bars and longer hours and the music and the outdoor space that we're really more concerned with. So there you go.
Great. That makes a lot of sense. And the MEND program that was mentioned in the last general meeting that I think everyone approved to continue funding, do we have any connection with that program?
I can answer that a little bit. We obviously, the board supported it rhetorically with the motion, and we have had them at 2 different committee meetings, and I think we're planning on having them come to the next permits meeting. They couldn't make tonight's schedule. They couldn't make last night or tonight. We were trying to make them fit. That's why this is on a Tuesday in the first place instead of a Monday. But yeah, we're gonna have them come and talk about their conflict resolution processes and everything, because that's something, frankly, that I have to deal with and Leroy has dealt with when he had my job. And it's nice to have a city agency that is more or less fully committed to that now, and it will actually make I think it'll help us tremendously, honestly, if we can tap into it.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Is Leroy still on the call?
Yep.
Yes, I am.
Leroy, the SLA is not out there checking for underage drinking. The SLA are out there checking on liquor license, my friend. They are out there in full force right now.
That's true. Whether establishment
They become
has
the
one or
enforcement
not or
agency.
expired. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what I was trying to make clear is that most of the issues that we have are city ordinances, and what happens is people want us to say, shut the bar down because they're making too much noise.
Right.
But the SLA really, that has no bearing to them unless it becomes a point of contention with the NYPD, who then request the SLA to take their license. But even that, the likelihood of that happening is very unlikely.
Yes.
So, you know, I'm glad to hear about this new program because I think it's going to be very beneficial throughout the city for residents and business owners to be able to come together and to work out the differences.
Yeah.
As long as everybody comes to the table with an open mind. Because you know how that works sometimes, Michael. You know, some constituents come to the table, we just want to shut down. There's nothing they can do to make it better. I just don't want it here, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, that's not possible. So I'm going to have to leave, guys, because I have a birthday party to go to.
Hey, well, if Leroy is leaving, I'm leaving too.
All our formal business is done, so.
Right. I think
Hey,
we're good. I think it was really nice to get an opportunity for everyone to just have a chance to talk to each other for a little
For
bit.
sure.
Yeah,
Right.
thanks for taking the time.
We're so lonely.
And actually, just to see all you guys.
Right.
Yeah.
I miss seeing your pretty faces.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right. Well,
All right. Take care, everyone.
All right.
okay,
Take
All
care.
right.
everyone.
Good night.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Welcome. See you next time.
Thanks.